You're watching Old School Gamer Live. Boom shakalaka.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got brand new competition over here on Leagues Online. Please subscribe to Old School Gamer Live. Bring your gamepad and your pride. The competition's ramping up, and this is where you draw the line. You got the passion, then you got the time. We got classic arcades. All you have to do is press rewind. From Nintendo, Capcom, Taito to Konami, Midway, Data East, Sega to Atari. Outrun anyone in an Evo Ferrari. Become a rad race on any board and don't feel sorry. I battle waves of brigades and it feels so gnarly. I'm jumping through hoops and circuses just like Charlie. My killer instinct, bashful and spectator lobbies will ruin the party. Turtle shells all over your body. We got King Creole brings the stress, no quarter brings a test. Bring your A game, shut your mouth enough and less. Here's the quest, are you ready for the competition? Recognition on leaderboard beyond our comprehension. Be that one, be that number one guy who will decide on Old School Gamer Live.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of Old School Gamer Live. It's your pal, No Quarter, coming at you. And my pal, KC, that you know and love and watch every single week with me on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Happy Thursday. Donning my new Uplay Arcade West Coast. Go Lakers.
That does look good.
Oh, yeah, man. Who designed this?
I don't know. Some swine. Some worthless swine. I am excited about our guest today. We have talked to him a little bit before the show, man.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him a little bit more about his history and what he's got going on. It's pretty cool. Let's get right into the show, guys. Casey, what do we got going on for retro news?
Man, I got two things to talk about today, No Quarter. But you know what? I think I want to start with hold on one second. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to talk about this because it's near and dear to my heart, and I seen this come across the day. Do you have it up? Let's see. All right. This right here is a handheld 386 SX computer. Now, No Quarter. This was my first computer.
Really?
I got this in 1991, a 386, Intel 386, and it was
that machine right there?
No, not this exact machine. It's emulating, or not say emulating, but it's a handheld using a 386 processor.
No, that's hilarious.
Dude, and look, so you know how we've been emulating all these on DOSBox?
Uh-huh.
You could run it natively.
Wow.
So you know, I mean, DOSBox is pretty decent. I gotta hand it to it. I've been using it for years, but to be able to play this on just original hardware, to me, it's pretty cool. I mean, you got a handheld. It's called Hand 386.
Scroll back up to it. Let's look at it.
Yeah, look at this. You look at the desktop.
Is there a mouse scroller anywhere?
I think it's on the side, but you can hook up peripherals.
Okay.
And you could run Windows 3.1. You could run Windows 95, MS-DOS.
Huh.
This thing is nuts. Okay?
That's pretty sweet, man.
Look, I've been excited about handhelds. I think I already picked up 2 or 3 handhelds. And for me to see this, man, you could imagine my face. So I go to click purchase. It's $196, but it's sold out. I don't know how many did they have, but it's no longer for sale. They said it will be coming back soon, so I'll keep my eye out. What game would you run, No Quarter, if you had this 386 mini computer in your hand? What would be the first game you would fire off on this?
That's a good question, man. It'd have to be either Lynx. I love playing Lynx, the golf game back in the day, man.
Oh, Lynx. I remember Lynx. I remember
Lynx, or maybe one of the Sierra games, King's Quest. That would be a blast. Man, I haven't played that in a long time.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't know, man. There'll be a lot of games we would play on that, though.
Oh, yeah, there'll be plenty. And so next I want to talk about, now this is going to be people in the chat, I want you guys to chime in on this topic. I'm going to it right now. So this article talks about the best modern game features that old players, I guess we old, No Quarter.
Yep.
I guess I better embrace it.
FYI.
These are the features that old players would want. And so one of the first things that they talked about was wireless controllers, No Quarter. Now, I remember, and this is probably why my eyes are so bad right now. sitting on top of the TV in my Atari 2600 days. You had to sit pretty close. You couldn't really lay across the bed. You had to have a specific chair, or you had to be right on top of the TV. So they talked about, man, it would have been nice if we could have had wireless controllers back in the day. Go ahead.
Well, they had wireless controllers for 2600, man.
Did they?
Yeah, they sure did.
I know there was a NES satellite, but I've never seen a wireless 2600 controller.
Oh yeah, looks like a radio, like an old walkie-talkie. Looks like it's hilarious looking. You got an antenna that sticks out of it, but it does the trick.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
So the other thing they talked about was a bigger console storage. Now I don't know how that would. I don't know about that one, no.
Internal memory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would make or break me. They also talked about digital game purchases. I don't think that would. That's not something I would have longed for back in the day. They talked about game updates. Now this is a big one. Game patches. I feel like back in the day we got a full, complete game. I don't feel like we got a half-ass game. I think nowadays there's comfort in knowing that you could issue out a firmware update or a patch. What do you think, though, Corey?
Absolutely. You know, I could see in the arcade days, you would have a game and it would get old. People would get tired of playing it. So, yeah, the patch would be awesome to be able to release back then. And I know they did do that, actually. They would release new ROMs and they'd drop it in. So it was pretty much like a patch. Cloud saves. Now, we wouldn't have wanted it back then because we didn't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. We didn't know about online play. We didn't know anything about saving storage online. So, yeah, all that would have been really, really cool.
And I think this is wrong. I think we had plenty of game guides, so I don't know who.
Oh, yeah. Who wrote this? Somebody that's 19 years old?
Must be, because we had plenty of game guides. I used to go to what's that bookstore, B. Dalton, and they had a video game book section. You could get any guide you wanted. Hell, I had one for Super Mario 3. I had a guide. So we talking, what was that, 91? So yeah. I don't know what they were talking about there. Fast travel options, I could care less about. Auto saving. Now this would have came in handy.
Oh yeah.
In my PlayStation days, I remember I couldn't afford a memory card. So guess what your boy did, no quarter, on Metal Gear Solid? I left my machine on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
used to do that all the time.
Just leave my machine on.
Yeah.
And the last two things they talked about was online multiplayer functionality and crossplay. Now, no quarter, how cool would it have been to play your buddy down the street who had a Sega and you had an NES, but you could play the games together?
Yeah, that would have been massive.
Yep. So that's it for this week, no quarter. That's my news.
Okay. Guys, make sure to type in hashtag OSGL in the chat to win. Now, this week, guys, it's going to be the only way it's Nintendo is I'm going to put one of these cute little mystery boxes in here, but the main prize is big time, guys. It's an Old School Gamer Live t-shirt. It is a 2X because it fits my fat ass, so you'll have to tighten it down on you. But that is what's going up this week, guys. So make sure to get hashtag OSGL typed into the chat ASAP, because you'll be one of the only other guys. I mean, only me and Casey have these shirts right now, so you'll be one of the only other ones to have a special Old School Gamer Live shirt. Let's talk about our next show that we're popping up with 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
Yep. New show that we're doing called First Fridays. We're going to be doing recipes, drinks, and live gameplay. So join us for that, guys. We're going to have an absolute blast with that.
I think the first meal we're going to do is we're going to do a easy one skillet Creole Louisiana jambalaya.
We need to get that recipe out there now.
We're going to get it out because you're going to have to go shopping, folks.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that now. So, yeah, that's how it works. We send you the recipes. We post the recipe. You go get the stuff and you cook it along with us live. We hang out. It's going to be an event. It's not a show. It's an event. So we're going to try out this new format, try to have some fun here, and hope you guys join in with us. Now, we have a special thing that we are planning this year. It's called the First Annual Arcade Rendezvous. Now, what we're doing is this is going to be an invitation only. It's presented by Old School Gamer Magazine. We're going to be doing it at Galloping Ghosts. So we talked to Doc. He's excited to host us. And I've talked to Bob Rose. We are going to do a Token Taverns viewing either at Galloping Ghost or somewhere close. We will work all those out, all those situations out there. But join us for this, guys. If you're interested in this, hit us up and we will send you an invite. I learned real hard, real quickly the hard way to not make a group chat. We got worked over on that one. So if you're interested, hit us up and we will be more than happy to invite you guys. We're going to have a big blast. It's going to be this year's Game and Brew pretty much. So
we got my buddy, one of my good pals, Retro Ralph, my fellow arcade buyer buddy. He's actually in that movie, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, maybe he'll even come out for it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. We got KFB hanging out with this man. How are you, dude?
What's going on, man? What's going on, chat?
You.
Messiah, Mitchell B, Saycrow. We got Mr. Jerry, Andy McDandy. Oh, man, I see
Messiah's
Dragon.
very flattered. He's very flattered that KFB is proud of his videos. That's hilarious.
That's a big deal. KFB is the god of shorts, man. If you got a co-sign from him, that's good. What's up, Prentice?
That's a massive pat on the back. How are you, Prentice? Good to see you, man.
Mr. Mensa, what's going on, Six Productions? We got everybody tonight. Todd, Dragon, let's go.
All right, well, let's bring our guest on. We're going to bring on our friend of Old School Gamer.
Who we got tonight, no quarter?
Our pal Michael Thomasson. Just an old school gamer by definition, by public admittance.
By records?
And by proof. Good to see you, man. How in the heck are you?
Good, thank you.
Let's talk about your history in retro gaming, and then we'll talk about some of your homebrew games, and then maybe what else you got planned for the future. So let's start with how you got into collecting retro games.
Well, I wanted a ColecoVision. Well, I wanted Atari for years, but we never had the money for it. You know, every Christmas and birthday come by, and it never happened, you know.
Pass right up.
But I was always an arcade player, and then a ColecoVision. Well, television came out, didn't get that. Odyssey was out, didn't get that. ColecoVision came out, didn't think I was going to get that. And then, one Christmas came, went to my grandparents' house, and opened up their gifts, and I had Cosmic Avenger for the ColecoVision. I was all excited. Thought for sure I'd have a ColecoVision the next day on Christmas morning. We're a Catholic family, and we go to mass in the morning. We spend all morning making breakfast, actually the whole week before. And open up one gift at a time, not like the TV thing where you run downstairs, and everybody opens up their gifts and trashes the living room.
Super
we
conservative.
Wait till early evening to open our gifts, one at a time, big gifts at the end. And of course, there's no ColecoVision. And my mom's like, well, we know you got that game from your grandparents. We can take it back and get you another toy. I'm like, no. Someday I'm going to own a ColecoVision, and I'm going to keep it. And I read the back of that box in the manual every night.
You knew that game.
From end of December to April for my birthday, and then I still didn't get one. But the following Christmas we did, and same thing, waited all day long, opened it up, finally get it, take it downstairs, hook it up to the TV, which was an endeavor back in the time. We never owned anything like that before. You had the TV boxes and the switch box, and my dad finally gets it hooked up. We turn on the power, the Donkey Kong screen's on the screen on the TV, and then freak snowstorm knocks the power out.
Oh,
really?
Sound like no quarter luck right there.
Yeah, was that me?
My parents let me stay up an hour past my bedtime and still no power. Instead, I played with my brother's train. And my brother and sister were older than me, and an hour past my bedtime, they made me go to bed. As soon as my head hit the pillow, the power came back on, and I got to listen to my older brother and sister play Cosmic Avenger and Donkey Kong while I laid in bed.
Oh, no!
I'm like watching it play in my head, all the moves.
This is one of the most depressing stories I've ever heard.
Yeah,
this is unbelievable.
Well, obviously, I'm scarred by it because I'm still talking about it 4+ decades later.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So,
wow.
Let's talk about when you had the world's largest video game collection. When was that? What years?
Well, I guess officially it was maybe 7 or so years ago. But my daughter, I would volunteer at my daughter's lunchroom at school to help out, and they had the book club, where they bring the books to the school once a week, and you bring them. It's like a fundraiser.
A little scholastic book fair.
She came home with a Guinness book, and we're flipping through it together, looking at all the freaks with the extra long fingernails and that kind of stuff. And And there's a picture of a guy named Richard Lessie, and God bless his soul, he passed away recently, but he was listed for having the largest game collection. And I looked at the number and I thought, I think I got more games than that. So contacted Guinness, and it's a long story. We won't go into it, but in the end, that's where we landed. And it was really cool because Richard found me at a convention somewhere. I go to a bunch of them. He came to my booth, introduced himself, and said, "Hey, I'm Richard," and Tony. We became friends. It was pretty cool.
That is cool. So can you describe your collection? Was it mainly just console games? Was it every console available? Was it just NES? What was it?
Well, it was console games. When I was younger, we couldn't afford a computer, so I didn't do any computer playing. But later, I had some computer games. But when Guinness did the count, they didn't count computer software. They knocked about 2,000 games off of my count for different things, certain handhelds, not computers, that kind of thing. Wow. But consoles, ColecoVision was my first love, so I had a near complete set for it at the time. But I went back and filled in the pieces. I really didn't get into collecting heavily until the early 90s, the Jaguar period. Ooh. I was helping my cousin clean out his basement one summer, and my uncle was very wealthy, so he had all the cool toys when we were a kid, and I'm helping him clean out his basement. He's grumping because his dad's making him clean out the basement, and he's throwing out an Odyssey 2 and a Master System, and I'm like, "What, Denny, man? Can I take these out of the trash and have these? Because I always wanted these, and never had them, and you're throwing them out." He's like, "Sure, take them." So I brought them home, had a blast with them, and then I went to Toys R Us to buy some more games, and they don't sell them anymore, right? So then I went to flea markets and pawn shops, and this is before video games were in vogue, and they were selling for $1. For $1, I'll buy it.
Couldn't give them away.
Like, I'm not into sports, but I'll buy a golf game for $1 because, I used to be a programmer too, and, it's all that kind of stuff, and I was an animator, so it all kind of fits in together. So I started buying every game I could, and next thing you know, I got too many games.
Where did you house all this stuff, Mike?
Yeah.
Where did you put this?
Well,
you had a big basement or something?
Yeah, I got a big basement. It was always a concern because, basements aren't covered in insurance for floods and stuff, and I couldn't afford extra insurance on the stuff. So I was always petrified of a break-in or a flood or something.
Man.
Sure.
I would be
when
nervous.
I sold the collection, it was actually a relief. When the truck
I'll bet.
pulled away because
that's a heck of a liability, man.
Heck yeah.
It really is.
Well, and I never let any of my friends know I had all these games because I trust my friends, but they tell a buddy and they tell a buddy, and next thing you know, bad things happen. Yeah. And a couple blocks from here, a guy had a issue 1 of what was the first Superman comic?
Action.
Yeah, the guy had Action Comics #1, and people knew about it. And right after this whole Guinness thing went public, and the news trucks are lined up down the street. The guy a couple blocks from me got killed. They broke into his house for Action Comics 1. They killed him. The guys got caught and went to jail, but he's still dead, so peeking out, and
wow. Yeah, so being a celebrity isn't so great, is it?
I was going to say,
I'm not going to go into it, but it was a pretty nightmare scenario. We got a second Doberman. We booby-trapped the woods behind our house. We got an alarm system. Moved my wife and daughter out of the house for about 3 months. We had home invasions, break-in attempts. It was a dark time, actually.
No kidding. Wow, man. I hate to hear that, man.
That's crazy to hear.
What a horrible reality,
when that truck rolled away, it was
a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah.
So, but let's talk fun things.
Let's do it.
Let's
talk about your homebrew games, man. What got you into doing homebrew?
Well, in the late 90s, I wanted a computer and couldn't afford one. And I had a friend that had been pretty successful. And I said, "Hey, I got this idea for a business selling retro games. Nobody's doing it because nobody was, at the time." And I said, "Why don't you loan me $4.5 grand and I'll buy a computer and I'll use the other half." Computer was $2.5 grand back then,
Yeah.
And they were expensive. That's big money in the 90s.
It was.
And I used some of my games to start up the inventory, and I basically resold games for years. But then video games kind of came in vogue, and everybody and their brother was doing it. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to keep competing with this, And I always kind of wanted to break into the game industry and never quite was able to do it. So I said, I went to all these trade shows. I used to go to Consumer Electronics Show before E3, and I did those too. And these companies would they'd send me there to rate the software. And I was one of the few kids in there, other than Tommy Tallarico, just the two of us, everybody else old men. And I'd rate the software, tell them how many copies to put in their rental stores. Remember those?
Oh,
and
yeah.
When I was there, sometimes they'd give me demos and stuff. So I'd have copies of games that never got released.
Oh.
So I said, you know what, I need an angle. I said, if I'm selling what other people selling, I'm not going to be able to sell for long. They're going to outprice me and outwork me and out advertise. But if I have something no one else can sell, that gives me an angle. So I contacted a couple of these groups. The first one was Stargate Films. They're still in business. They do all the special effects for The Walking Dead and other TV shows now. And they were doing contract work for Sega, for the Sega CD titles, actually for Sony ImageSoft to release on the Sega CD. But then when Sony decided they want to compete with Sega, you know, the whole Super Nintendo CD-ROM story, right?
Yeah.
They canceled all their out-of-house projects, and those games with Stargate Films got canned. And I had them. I contacted them. I said, hey, I'd like to release their games. They said, well, that'd be great, but we don't have copies of them anymore. We didn't back them up. And I said, well, I got copies of them.
I got it.
Said, you got copies of our games? So I said, yeah. And I said, I can't really afford to license, but I'll give you copies of your own games in exchange for the rights to it.
Oh,
And that's how I got my first two Sega CD games out.
Awesome.
And I remember
yeah. Wow.
they were FMV games, and they weren't the best games, but they weren't bad for better than most FMV games. But I remember Electronic Gaming Monthly, which was the king of the magazines at the time.
Yep.
They did an article, and you know, back then, to reproduce CDs, it was a big venture. You know, you'd had to have CD-ROM burners were rare. A blank CD was $7 a disc, and the success rate was about 50%. So,
oh man,
my wife and I are burning these discs in our house, costing about $15 a pop, you know, plus packaging, and we had to test them all to make sure that they would actually run, you know. And the games played for about an hour. And one game was really easy, which was Bug Blasters. And one game was really hard, which was Star Strike. So I tested the Star Strikes, and my wife would test the Bug Blasters. And then when the magazine article came out, you know, they gave them both bad. They tore them both apart. But, you know, even bad advertising is good advertising. It put me on the map. But what I've always wondered is, the guy that wrote the article complained about how hard Bug Blasters was and how easy Star Strike was, and it was the exact opposite.
That's hilarious.
That's why I had my wife testing it, because she wasn't a gamer other than in television.
Probably never even tested them.
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, different people have different talents, but I don't see how.
That's crazy.
So what consoles have you produced for?
Oh, good Lord. The Atari, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, the Philips CDI, the GCE Vectrex, Sega Genesis, probably one or two others. That's all I can pull out of my head right now.
Are those available anywhere to play or to buy?
www.gooddealgames.com.
There you
For the
go.
ones that aren't sold out, you know, sometimes we'll go back and
out.
do some reprints, but not much. I mean, you know, I've never paid myself. I started this in the 90s as kind of a hobbyist operation. And, you know, I've funded some pretty stupid projects that I knew weren't going to make money, but I thought they were cool. Like we did the first book. Jim Critch and I did a book on the video game Gyrus. We wrote a military science fiction book. It's like 400 pages. We learned that gamers don't want to read. They just want to play games, right? So I got a whole basement full of them.
They don't want to read.
People still want them. But, you know, but for the projects that do make money, then we take the profits from that, and it funds the next project, and we just kind of go from project to project, and been doing it. But I'm not a saint. I still get perks. I get, you know, the organization pays for me to go to these shows, and, you know, covers those kind of expenses. So I do get something out of it. But, you know, there's just a thrill. You know, when I put my first game out and I had physical media in my hand, you know, it was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking at the site now too, and man, there's some stuff on here I want to look at.
I got to pull it up here. Let me full screen this.
I originally tried to do homebrew games back in the early 90s. Before the internet, there was a guy named Frank Pulaski, and he had a little fanzine called Video Magic, and he would basically make this magazine with a photocopier in black and white and mail it to all the collectors via postal mail. And when we get in the mail, we'd all contact him immediately because, you know, he'd show what games he had for trade. And I actually put an ad in 1994 in Video Magic looking for people to help develop and make new Master System and ColecoVision games. And I got a lot of letters of people that were interested, but they all said the same thing. They said, this is a great idea. I'd love to do it, but I don't have any skills or talent. So it didn't go anywhere. Kind of sat dormant in the back of my head for,
I see some stuff on the. I
years.
looked at Dreamcast too. I'm like, wow.
So when you do these games, what are you doing? Are you doing the art on them? Are you doing the programming?
A lot of things. I used to be a programmer, but I don't program much anymore. I do all the packaging and that kind of stuff. I got different people do programming. A lot of the homebrewers are overseas, and most of the homebrew players are in the United States or Canada. So they're paying, $25 to ship these things. And they're little small operations. And I kind of modeled Good Deal Games after what's the founder of 3DO and Electronic Arts, Trip Hawkins.
Yep.
Because Trip Hawkins had the idea originally of marketing video games kind of like record albums with nice artwork and big boxes, and he'd go out and find these people, these kids that were making these games and turn them into big productions. Before we were selling shareware and plastic baggies in computer stores, and
good old shareware. I miss them days.
Yeah, that's how it got started,
Doom
and
was shareware's dream.
Right. So he'd contact these shareware guys and say, hey, I want to professionally produce this stuff and get it out there. So I'm wanting to play these new games for my systems because that's what excites me. I've been playing the same games for decades. I want something new to play. And a lot of these kids are college students or they're in Europe, and they don't have the funding to produce it, or who wants to pay $25 a pop to import? So I contact these people and said, hey, I got some of my own games, but I want to be a distributor. Instead of you boxing up 50 to 100 games and mailing them all over the world, mostly to the US, and everybody's paying $25 a pop, why don't you send half of them to me, and I can mail them to people in the US for $5 a pop, and everybody saves money. And more importantly, I get a copy of the game because I get first access to them. Because these homebrews, they don't make a lot of them, and they're hard to get, and people fight over them. But if you're in the mix, you're guaranteed a copy, right? And that was my real motivation, is I wanted access. So I kind of built that around so I could get new games to play.
That's smart.
Yeah, good thinking.
That's while I'm still around. There's a lot of people that do homebrew and they aren't in it for very long because they realize that there's really not much money to be made in it.
Right.
But I'm not in it for the money.
They've got to be expensive to make, right? They got to be expensive to manufacture, and then you can
$12
only charge.
A box.
Yeah, how much?
$12 a box.
Wow, that's just the box, or is that the cartridge and everything?
The box.
Wow.
That's just the box.
Then $3 to $5 for the manual, a couple bucks for overlays if they have overlays. Then the cartridge, depending on the system, is a minimum of $12 up to $35. So
wow, man, you're getting what, 10%, 20% tops if you're selling retail prices.
Sometimes I lose money, but
yeah,
it's for the love of the game.
Wow. Yeah.
So do you have
a bunch of new games to play? That's the beauty,
right?
Like the stuff on the ColecoVision now and the Intellivision, that stuff is so much more advanced. You give somebody 4 decades to figure it out, man. You can do some amazing stuff.
When I was at Midwest Gaming Conference, I don't know, a couple months ago now, they had a couple of tables set up with homebrew games, and they blew me away at some of the detail that they have now. Some of the really cool game mechanics are coming up with.
Like
very
the hockey
impressive
one that Devin was playing at hockey. I think it was a Genesis game or SNES game.
Blood
hockey or something. Yeah.
I'm talking about 2600 games. You should see what they're doing now with these 2600 games. It's really impressive. It doesn't look like a 2600 game now anymore.
You should see our Kung Fu game. It's 32K, right? Back then, most
the
games
whole game.
were 4K.
I'm about to say about 4K.
It's a VCS game. It's got a title screen. It's got a map screen. It's got bonus boards. It's got ending credits. And we did something that they said couldn't be done on the VCS. We have animated backgrounds.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So, it's amazing.
Whoa.
And it's amazing what these guys are doing.
Is that listed on your website?
It is.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm on the cover. The programmer, I originally photoshopped his face on a karate guy for the cover, and he came back and he says, "Man, I'm too nerdy for this. You can't do this." He goes, "Put your face on it." And I'm like, you know what? I've been doing box covers for 3 decades. Maybe I will. So I'm a little vain, but I put myself on the cover, and
Are you the guy that does these couplers?
No, nope. There's another guy. I think his name's Caleb. I'm bad with names, but he does them with a 3D printer. I just started carrying them, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been watching him do these for multiple different consoles now. I think it's a great idea. I love it.
Robotron, that's dope. Yeah, I just saw that.
I do stuff like that too. I do like, for example, I got a Game & Watch case that I make, and so I'm very familiar with that kind of stuff, and so I think that's really cool. Very inventive, very, very inventive. That's cool that you're carrying it on your site.
Anything that I come across that's cool, I like. A lot of these guys they just want to be part of the scene, and they have good ideas. And if I can help them, it helps everybody.
What is this game? That looks very familiar to me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, a Canadian did that probably over a decade ago.
Wow.
And it's got some assets that are borrowed, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah, some inspired assets.
That's not one of my productions, but I do sell it for them. And, I hate to say it, but Atari homebrews don't sell like they used to, but we'll make a new game for it. And sometimes we don't sell but 30 copies,
Hey, man, give it a couple of years and it'll probably swing right back around, just like we were talking about, man. In the 90s, you couldn't give this stuff away, man. You literally couldn't, man. There was stacks and stacks and stacks of cartridges.
25 cents for
nobody
a
wanted
2600 card.
Nobody wanted them,
back
man.
then.
Well, all the old gamers
Minimum.
like me are starting to die off. I told you before, I look a lot younger than I am, but I'm pushing 60, and I just, like I said, I haven't gone gray and lost my hair yet, so I'm rocking it for as long as I can.
Hell yeah,
with
do
my,
it.
It's gonna
with
come
my
back
Cassidy
around.
haircut. How awful it is, but a lot of us have finally grown up and have. I was gonna say kids. Some of us have grandkids now, so
Yeah.
your priorities change and.
Understood.
Definitely.
But,
Well, Michael, it's been great having you
That's
on, my
been
friend.
good, man.
The website, guys, is
Yeah, go check out the
gooddealgames.com. Go check that out for some awesome homebrew stuff. Where can anybody find you and talk to you online? Are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook, and Good Deal Games and Homebrew Heaven has a Facebook page where a lot of people will buy these homebrews and they'll try to flip them for big money because there aren't enough of them. So a lot of things I'll throw on the Facebook page first.
Okay,
So
cool.
So it kind of prevents some of that from happening. So a lot of stuff that we carry never even makes the website. I'll throw it on the Facebook page and it'll sell out and never even go to the website.
So is your facebook.com/gooddealgames?
It's Good Deal. No, if you go to Facebook, you can just search for Good Deal Games and Homebrew Heaven.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Or just type in Good Deal Games, it'll pop up.
Okay.
And I don't put a lot of stuff for sale up there, but I'll do put notices of some small stuff. But mostly I put video game jokes and gags and that kind of stuff up there.
I saw that.
Of
Yeah.
a hangout place, not a sales place, really.
Cool. A place to hang out at. I appreciate that. Nice.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
We'll definitely have you on again, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Have a good one.
Messiah got jokes.
Oh,
boy.
I love guys like that. I mean, that is
He's passionate about it.
Yeah, it's guys like that keeps the community alive. I love homebrew games as well because it's so cool making that old hardware new again. And you're coming up with new things. Well, I'm not kidding, man. I wish I had filmed a lot more of that stuff when we were there. It's just really impressive. Like you said, he's got moving backgrounds and stuff. Now, when I was there, I played a game. It was kind of like Yara's Revenge. It was a combination of Yara's Revenge, Gradius, and one other shooter. But you could go left and right. You could change different weapons. You had different weapon upgrades, all on the 2600. It was like Defender, Gradius. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was almost like a Super Nintendo game on the 2600.
Well, see, what I like about the homebrew is that it keeps these machines alive. Because, like, I know Six is a big Saturn fan. Now he can go on this site and if he done ran through all his Saturn games, now he can go get something that just dropped on Saturn. I mean, to be able to do that for 2600 as well.
Yeah.
All these old machines that you could just kind of bring back to life and hook back up,
It really is absolutely amazing. Let me get, I forgot about our wheel. OSGL.
Get your wheel. Don't get your wheel. Don't.
All right.
Hey, listen. Don't forget this week. Don't forget.
Hashtag OSGL, guys. Get that dropped in the chat. I see we already have 8 entries, so keep dropping them in for your chance to win this week. Old School Gamer Live shirt, brand new. I haven't even worn it. I can wear it once if you want to. If you want it to be worth a lot more. Yeah.
Freshly worn.
I can wear it once and sign it for you. And whatever this is, a little Nintendo mystery box, whatever. Who knows what's in there? Something cool, I'm sure. But let's move on here, guys, to our pals Raskler and Shotgun Sean. Check out their show every Tuesday. Join us on June 15th for our Retro Gaming Olympics. We are going to be playing the Nintendo World Championship cartridge live. We can play this live online. We can play live with you. So all you have to do is watch live. We will send out the link. You can join the game with us, and we will do some World Championship cartridge high score runs. If you've never seen how that works, they play 3 games. Mario, Top Racer, and Tetris, right? And then they add all 3 scores together, and you only have 2 minutes per game, something like that. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast. So we're going to do that on June 15th, guys. Join us for that. Join all of our companions over at our Arcade High Score Challenge Club, the original Challenge Club on Facebook. We've been doing this for years over there, guys. So hang out with us on that page. Our weekly tournament roundup. We got a big one this week, guys, so check this out. MCAPS, ALP, digital pinball. What are we going to call it? Digital Pinball Legends Challenge, guys. Bubble Bobble. It's an absolute blast on the table. It comes on the table, so fire this one off. We've been playing it for a couple of days now, but it ends May 24th, so get your scores in on the At-Games machine itself on the leaderboards. Polycade's got a ton of stuff going on, so check this out. Ton of stuff. They got a high score run May 20th through the 27th of the game I ran. I haven't played this one yet, but it looks like a blast. Looks like a 2600 game.
Yeah, it looks like I was going to say, it looks like a Atari game.
It looks like it's a homebrew game to me, so that looks like a pretty fun one. Another high score run, June 15th, Galactic Battleground. This is a really fun game as well, guys. You want to get on this one. This is live at Prince Arcades in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So join in on that one. Maybe Prince can hang out at that one, huh? That's got to be close to Chicago.
Princess and Prince.
Yeah, both of them. Speedrunners, June 27th. Another live event at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, guys. Go hang out at this one if you're down there.
Run.
And Rampage Elimination Tourney. I wish I was up north for this one.
Man, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yep, June 24th at noon in Bloomington, Illinois at the GameCon. So that's going to be an absolute blast. Summer series, guys, going on. All kinds of stuff going on. Ollie Ollie live event June 29th. High score run on Battle Galactic. We already talked about that one. And over here on the right, Crazy Quarters Arcade. Another live event June 29th, 7 p.m. at Bay City, Michigan. So these guys are doing all kinds of awesome stuff. Today. Yeah, Ron has been working, man. I'm telling you, he is working his tail off. This week, guys, on Retro Games Fun Facebook page are 3 games that we are voting on, or 4 games, I guess. It's usually 3. I guess you're doing 4 this week. Magical Drop. Yeah, Magical Drop 3, Puzz Loop, On the Ball, which is actually Camel Try. I never heard it called On the Ball, but that's Camel Try. And this other game called Chu Mang Fu. Is that what that says?
Chu Man Fu.
Chu Man Fu.
Yep.
So I seen Jim Hernandez was playing Puzz Loop the other day, and that looks like a really fun game.
Never heard of this game. I'm going to have to check that out.
I think that's a spinner game, just like Camel Try is.
Huh.
I believe it is. Just the way it was playing, he's playing it. It looked like it's a spinner game, so check that out. Hang out with us at the Neo Turf Masters Facebook page. We're always clowning around over there. And Moat has himself a really sweet tournament and a whole list of tournaments. Let me get his banner here. Go watch Moat over at youtube.com/@MoatPlays. All of his channel, all of his shows you can watch there. First one, Marvel vs. Capcom tournament, May 21st. That's coming up, guys. That's going to be an absolute blast. We love this game. Mortal Kombat 2 tournament popping June 3rd. We know KBF's going to be there, Moat's going to be there, UAG. All the usual suspects are going to be battling on this one. Now we got Season 2 popping very, very soon. The first tournament on Season 2 of the Back Alley 7-Eleven Tournament Series is going to be Tekken 7, and I've got to buy this. It's only like $3-4 on Steam.
On Steam, yeah.
And it is, dude, it is really fun. I was watching Moat's show today, and they were playing, I think they were playing this game, and he was talking about Mortal Kombat 11, how sterile that game is, and I agree with him. It's kind of a boring game to watch. Tekken is not like that. It's kind of clean like Mortal Kombat 11 is, but it's a lot more fun to watch, a lot more energetic. So join us June 4th for that tournament. All right.
Some busy months at tournament. Hey, y'all better not say y'all don't have nothing to do. It's plenty to get into.
Definitely. We got tons of stuff going on, guys. Yeah, Seiko, get your scoring. Yeah, I would love to be live for the Rampage tournament because I'm a pretty good Rampage player. So that would be fun to go do a live tournament, but I'm not that far up north just yet. Old School Weekly Countdown, guys. It is my top 5 90s racing titles. Let's get on it. Casey's going to laugh when he sees some of these.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's going to
kind of got a feeling, but go ahead.
He's going to absolutely laugh. Number 5, 18-wheeler.
Really?
When this game came out, man. When this game came out, you got to understand, I was a teenager. I went to a school that had 66 people in it. We were all pretty much rednecks. All the dads drove semi trucks and crap. So it was cool to have this game. And we would go up to Branson, and this game was in every arcade up there. We had to play this game every time we went up there. So 18-wheeler, it's a really fun game. If you guys never played it, hunt that down. Fire this one off. Number 4, Cruisin' USA. Now, this was one of my all-time favorite. Okay. Absolutely loved it. Had to play it when I saw it. And I think it was just the environmental feel of the game itself. That music blasting, the way that you would zoom through your different vehicles to pick them. Just everything was new and fresh and just super, super cool. So when Cruisin' USA came out, it was one of my favorites for sure.
I agree with this.
Number 3, Casey's going to love seeing this one, Hydro Thunder.
Hey!
This was another one of my Branson favorite games. Every time I went to Branson, this was in every single... I mean, you go to a hotel, it would be in the arcade section of it. It would be in every arcade. You couldn't get away from this. It was in every Walmart. It was everywhere.
That's where I played it the first time was Walmart, and it was loud as hell. That was a loud cabinet.
It was loud, but it was fun, man. I loved that turbo, slamming that
boost,
throttle up.
Throttle, yeah.
Oh, I love slamming that throttle up, man. That felt like a real boat.
Man.
Number 2.
What's number 2?
Mario Kart. All series of Mario Kart.
Oh, I was going to ask, okay, did you have a specific one or okay?
Yeah, I did this picture because I like them all. I like the very original one, and I like the very latest one. You know, they are all phenomenal games.
I agree.
Because you can play it as a kid, you can play it as an adult, you can play it together, and there's so many different upgrades, so many different ways of tactically racing in this game. It's just an absolute blast. And there's so many games. Think about how many games have stolen things from this game.
Oh, my God. It's been, Crash Team Racing, Sonic Team Racing.
Millions.
You name it.
Crash Bandicoot, Pac-Man Racing, Kirby Racing, Diddy Kong Racing. I mean,
I remember Diddy Kong
Racing. They all ripped off stuff from this game. So this is a very special game for me. Now, number 1, my all-time ultimate racing game.
Outrun. Oh, what?
F-Zero.
Really?
Absolutely love the F-Zero franchise. The first one on Super Nintendo, I lived this game when it came out. I loved being able to bank. I loved being able to recharge your life. I loved being able to jump the corners, all that kind of stuff. It was such a super, super cool game at the time.
Yeah, graphics for that time was it was using that chip, that same chip that Star Fox used. What's that, FX chip or
and that the sprite scaling was just beautiful on that game. It was just such an amazing game back in the day. So that was my number 1 racing game, guys.
Okay, all right, no quarter. I'm impressed. I would have thrown Outrun on there, but hey.
Yeah, I thought about it heavily, but it was not one that I really played a lot.
Really?
Those are the games that I played mostly. So that's why those ones were picked.
Good pick. Good picks.
All right, last week's game of the week, guys, was Rampage. We had Brian Colin on. It had to be Rampage, right? We got that boy on. We got to do this. We had a blast on this one. You know what? Let's check out.
What's the boards looking like?
Let's pull up these boards here.
Don't show my name.
Well, if you didn't play, it's probably not on there. And if I had to guess, you probably didn't play it, right?
I thought I played.
If you were smart, you didn't play it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's roll on down. Search for Rampage.
Sacro said his wife loves F-Zero, and she introduced him to F-Zero.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a good game, for sure.
All right, our scores. Oh, boy, look who's...
Man, look
Wow.
at Corrupt 5 days ago. This dude.
Yeah, Corrupt with me, but Obsidian. Look at him up at 58.
Look at Obsidian. God.
I mean, he did that 2 years ago, but that's still a really good run. Now, I've never been able to really play it very well on this platform, this online platform, because it kind of gets a little jerky on you, you know? Rampage is one of those games that it's a timing game. You have to wait at a certain moment, so they fire at you, and then you move. And then you wait again, then you move. And you wait again, and you move. This online platform doesn't really allow me that luxury. Kind of like playing Pac-Man on here. Doesn't work out.
It's tough.
Doesn't work out. But this week, guys, game of the week is NAM 1975. This game you can actually play on here pretty well. Let's fire it off right now here. I will show you. Let's see here. Let me get my controller here. A little bit of that. There we go. All right. Let's see how loud this audio is. It's quiet. All right. Now, of course, I've wasted all my grenades. Now, there's a button where I can run. There we go. Button I can run and dodge. There we go. Ah! Already capped. Wow. Let me turn the audio up a little bit.
I'm trying to think if I played the real cab of this. I'm trying to think. I don't think I played the real NAM 1975 cab.
I have.
I've never seen one in a while. This is a fun game.
At least I think. This seems like a very familiar game to me. I think I've played it.
Oh, Messiah said San Francisco Rush was his favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was a good. In the Rush to the Rock. Oh, Rush to Rock, Prince. That was a. Ooh.
You know, Atari really didn't do very many racing cabs around that time, and so when Rush came out, when they did it right.
Hell yeah, man, that was a good. Now you got me thinking, Messiah.
Yeah,
I don't need to buy nothing else.
This definitely looks like it's a little bit before Alligator Hunt.
Oh yeah, Alligator Hunt.
Yeah, because it's very. Man, I'm getting wasted.
And what's the other ones? Cabal and all those.
Yep. This is pretty
fun games.
Yeah, pretty standard game style. Give it one more run.
This
at least 10,000.
In the arcade, this didn't use a trackball, did it?
I'm not. I think it's a joystick, man.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean to do that. It should be a trackball if it wasn't.
Messiah said this was a gas station game. Yeah, definitely. 7-Eleven or something like that.
Yeah, I know I've seen it.
Wasn't in the big arcade.
Man, I just cannot hit 10K. All right. Well, guys, that is the game of the week this week.
I'm about to get this a run.
Yeah, get in on that 1975, NAM 1975. It's an absolute blast, as you saw.
NAM 1975.
Yep. So we talked about Token Taverns. I want to talk about them real quick and play their trailer here. I've been talking to Bob Rose. What a cool guy. He's got all kinds of stuff going on right now. He's promoting his movie here. So let's check it out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Kitcher, the voice of NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, and we're here to tell you about Token Taverns, the arcade bar documentary.
We're just a friendly neighborhood arcade bar.
That's right. This movie has it all. Pinball, classic arcades, craft beer, butterflies, and broken dreams.
Played a game with the owner of this place, and he fucking destroyed me. I might leave that in a Yelp review.
Things are heating up in Florida, as we'll be showing Token Taverns on the big screen.
90s hip-hop, beers, and video games. You're doing good work.
It's a Token Taverns party, and you're invited.
What were you doing last night, Mario? You closed down that bar, didn't you? Yep.
Come see the movie the way it's meant to be seen on the big screen. Ooh, boom shakalaka.
So yeah,
Yes, man.
yeah, guys, if you are down there, go check that out. If not, you can come and check it out when we view it at our event.
All our Florida people. We got a bunch of Florida folks, so yeah, definitely check it out if you can.
Yep. Definitely. And just to recap real quick, guys, our first annual arcade rendezvous up at Galloping Ghost. If you want to go, hit us up on Facebook, send us an email, youplaytoday@gmail.com. Contact us any way you can, and we will get you on the list. We're going to go ahead and create a Google form, and hit us up, and we will send you the form, and we will get a list there and have a hell of a time like we did last year. We're going to do it again. We're going to be playing games, and we're going to organize it this year. It's going to be crazy, and a crazy concept, and it's going to be air-conditioned as well. So we're going to have an absolute blast.
Well, me and No Quarter won't look like we ran a marathon.
Yeah, that was rough. But all right, guys, we appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Go check out Michael's stuff. He's got some really cool games. Go clean them out. Buy all the games that he's got there.
I'll spend some money because I'm like, I don't need to spend no more than y'all show me this website. So,
guys, we're also, before we leave, we're going to spin the wheel. How about that, huh?
oh,
How
man,
about that?
Oh, God.
I remembered.
Oh, man.
I didn't even need Jerry.
You didn't need Gene or.
I didn't need Jerry to backhand me this time.
All right, let's get it. We got 10
All right.
entries.
Which one of you liver lips wins this beautiful shirt? Let's find out. Here we go. Uh-oh. All right, we're still getting entries. We'll give her 10 seconds.
10
Got a good
seconds.
10 seconds here. Here we go. I got a clock. You got 10
Throw it
seconds. Boom.
Dragon almost forgot to put it. Come on, Dragon.
There he goes. All right, 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, we're spinning it right now. Here we go.
Let's get it.
Who wins this beautiful old school gamer T-shirt? And
Bruh, Messiah wins again.
you better not.
Crazy.
Mr.
Jerry.
Hey,
What?
I like that. I like that.
Mr.
I will
Jerry.
happily send Mr. Jer this shirt. Awesome.
They said liver lips.
Oh, well, very cool. Very cool. I appreciate that. Here's where you're going to get a Mario Kart mystery item box. Who knows what's in there? Probably some sort of Mario Kart situation. And a beautiful old school gamer T-shirt.
Exclusive.
Yep.
Held by No Quarter.
Extremely exclusive. And Jer, if you want me to wear that, I can do that for you. I can cut the sleeves off too if you want. We can go all out.
Oh, man. He doesn't want you sweating it out.
No, that would be the last thing that he wants. All right, guys. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. You guys have a great night and a great week. And we'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Have a good one.
Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kitzer here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Old School Gamer Magazine now has twice the content, with new columns on retro gaming, arcades, retro computers, indie publishing, and a ton more. Plus gaming history, memories, and modern excitement in every issue. Find out when conventions are happening and what you might have missed at others around the country. Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. If you aren't in the U.S., take a look at our digital options or the new print on demand through Amazon. This massively expanding magazine is all yours in print and digital for just $50 a year in the U.S., $75 in Canada, or digital-only subscriptions, including all of our back issues for just $20 a year. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka!